All right. Well, I wanted to put together a video walkthrough of the van like you requested here. So we'll kind of start with the outside. I'll switch to landscape mode because I know it drives people nuts sometimes whenever you film a video in portrait. So we'll kind of go through the exterior, any features on the outside. Heading to the inside, I'll run through everything, and hopefully this kind of covers everything about the van. But if you have any other questions, feel free to ask us. So the van itself is a 2019 Ford Transit. It does have the extended body on it, which is the longest body that this model of van offers. It is a high roof, so I'm 6 foot, and I can stand up in there with plenty of room without hitting my head, which is something that we were really looking for when we bought and built this van. We started building this van in October of last year. Finished it up in January. We never really had any intention of selling it, but we've had some stuff happen in life that is leading us in another direction at this point. So we're sad to see it go, but hoping it finds some folks that'll be able to enjoy it. So kind of diving into the exterior features of the van itself, we do have a little keypad here that I put in. This doesn't come with the van. It was an external accessory. What's really nice about this is when you're traveling on trips and whatnot, you're able to leave your keys inside. You can come up, punch your code in, be able to get it, and then be on your way. Moving over to the side here, I'll kind of zoom in on the tires. So we did put new tires on it, and they only have about 6,000 miles on them. We'll zoom in a little closer. They are Michelin Agilis's Cross Climate, so they are snow tires. They are specifically for commercial vehicles, this is considered a commercial vehicle. So they're designed to withstand the extra weight that comes with being a commercial vehicle. So believe it or not, the tires were a little tough to find, but these have worked exceptionally well for us. Moving on to the back here, we do have these they're called air tabs. We purchased them just for aerodynamic stabilization when we're driving down the highway. At the high speeds, these really help to promote better stability, whenever you're crossing or passing a truck, that kind of thing. They also claim to offer better gas mileage. We've seen a marginal improvement at best. This thing does get about 17 to 18 miles to the gallon, which is really good, considering the size and nature of the vehicle. All right, so back to the back here. Really nothing special. You can see the air tabs up on the roof there. We do have our window covers in right now. Okay, head over to the side here. Nothing special on this side. We tried to keep it about as stock as we could so that we'd be able to, to set up camp and, metropolitan areas and, not have anybody suspect that we were necessarily camping. I guess you can call that stealth. And then this is the front end. So you can see the front end of 2 of the solar panels on top. But again, it looks fairly stock. So kind of wander over here and I'll begin to show you the inside. So I'll open up the passenger door here. So nothing real crazy right here. Let's go ahead and open the sliding door. Kind of stand back and give you a view. And come in and start going through some of the details. So I'm going to kind of start in the front here and then work my way to the rear of the van and the garage. Some of the items to note up here are the passenger seat. Let's go ahead and start there. So I'm going to slide it all the way forward. I'm going to get in here and show you what's going on. So underneath the passenger seat, we have a Webasto gasoline heater. This vehicle is a gasoline vehicle, and I ran a dedicated gasoline line that ties it on the main tank. So during the winter months, we spent a lot of time up in Jackson Hole and other areas, and this thing kept us extremely warm, almost too warm sometimes. The discharge on it is right here, still in the base of the passenger seat. Works exceptionally well. I don't know if I mentioned this already, but we could run it all week, and it uses maybe a gallon of gas per week. So we were never in a situation where we felt like we were putting ourselves in jeopardy by running it even with a low gas tank. So that thing's been awesome for us. We also have a swivel mount here. This swivel mount's nice because it does have a large opening in the middle. So you can reach down there and do anything you need with the Webasto heater. A lot of the other popular swivel mounts don't have any hole in their base like this, so you pretty much have to take off the whole suite if you ever find yourself in a situation that you need to access the gasoline heater, which I really like. So I'll go ahead and show you the swivel. Apologize for my camera work. I'm definitely not a video producer. I'm also not very coordinated. So yeah, back to landscape. So, that's the seat swiveled around. It really does offer, an expanded living space here for eating breakfast, talking. If you ever have anybody that comes over and starts chatting with you at the campsite, they can take a seat while you're cooking something or fixing yourself a drink or a meal. That's really nice. So, kind of coming inside the van here, we do have a curtain right here. And I'll just kind of give you a pan. So we got some hooks up top the door here. The ceiling is all tongue and groove cedar, which is nice. It smells real good. So it does a great job of absorbing any odors that might come, throughout your camping journeys, and adds a very pleasant forestry aroma to the atmosphere. So, we do have this blackout curtain up front here. So that just unhooks here. I can slide that over. And my wife and I sewed magnets into it, so it just hooks up right there, and then you have full privacy from the front of the vehicle. So whenever we're camping at night, we'd set that up so nobody could see into what we were doing in the rear. With the curtains, it is real easy to just pull them over and put them away. I know some people do have the window covers for the front, and we were planning on doing that. The hardest part about those is that whenever you don't have them installed in the windows, it's hard to find a spot to put them where they're not in the way. So this curtain was our way of kind of compromising. The window covers are definitely better from an insulation standpoint, but with the Thinsulate, you can see the Thinsulate I put in up here. I was also able to work it down in there to be able to keep as much insulated as possible. And it really does a good job of keeping the heat in during the winter and trying to keep the heat out during the summer. So, definitely going with the curtains versus the window covers. The curtain doesn't do as great of a job as insulating, at least the windows themselves. But it comes with the convenience of being able to open and close it real quickly. As far as the insulative properties, it does a real good job on itself. Just if you were to compare it directly to the window cover, it's probably not as strong, but yeah, definitely pros and cons to both. So, working our way back, and let me put my head up here, kind of give you a view from the inside here. So I'm sitting in the passenger seat right now. This is what it looks like. So you can see we got our fire extinguisher right there. Put it right there just to keep it close whenever we're out cooking outside, having a campfire, easy to get to if we needed to. Same with cooking in here. If we ever needed to get to it quickly, we wanted easy access to it. So that's there. We do have a full-size trash can, which is really nice. Not too many of the vans have a full-size trash can out there. We tried to factor that into our design on the front end, and I think that made a big difference as far as comfort or livability, or what you want to call that. It is secured to the counters itself, so it will not move, it will not shake or rattle while you're cruising, which is really nice. The floors. So the floors, on the very bottom, we put sound deadener down. We have 3/4 inch plywood, and then on top we have a vinyl sheet. The vinyl sheet, it appears to be a wooden floor. It is real great. It's got a 25-year warranty on it from Home Depot. So if you ever have any issues with it, you can just go swap it out. But since it's a continuous sheet, it is waterproof, which is really nice. When we're camping, you tend to drag in dirt, mud, that kind of thing, and it makes it easy to clean, and that's why we have a broom right here. This thing's great. One of the best tools we have in here. Kind of shooting up here, we got our paper towel holders, our towel holders, and then hooks for everything. I can't tell you, we always find a use for it. Whether it's hanging up the dog leash, the keys, hats, a shirt, anything. All kind of uses for hooks. And we put them everywhere. We've got them up there. You know, we've got them over the top here. You know, we'd primarily use these at least over the top here for hanging jackets and that kind of thing whenever we were going in and out of the van. Super convenient. So let's dive into the kitchen area here. So give you a bigger view of the kitchen. So the kitchen up top, we've got just some shelves here. You know, we store, you know, more clothing on that side in the bins, and then we've got, you know, some toiletries and cooking essentials, snacks, that kind of thing. The bins are nice because we can just take them, pull it out, you know, real easy to get up in there. They've been great just for adding additional storage. Really want to try to get maximum use out of every square inch of the van, so that's been great. The kitchen itself, we do have these drawers here. We got latches on them. It's just a little silverware thing we built. They do have the soft close hinges, well, slides on them, which is nice. So, you know, they'll end up closing themselves, and for the most part it keeps it closed, but we like having these latches on it just because it guarantees while we're driving we won't have any drawers coming out. The countertop is made of solid. It's a solid butcher block countertop. It's not from IKEA, so does not have a particle board core, which is great because, you know, you can see whenever we cut a hole in it for the sink, we didn't have to worry about any water getting into the particle board, swelling up, and then, you know, getting damaged over time. So really like that. Our sink itself is the biggest sink that we could fit in here. You know, it's pretty much a full-size sink, which is awesome for being able to wash dishes. It makes things a lot easier when you're at the campsite on the road. When you're, you know, washing those cutting boards, pots and pans, that kind of thing, you're not having to deal with an RV sink as you're trying to clean it. We do have two faucets here. We've got just our general sink faucet, and then this one is a dedicated, it has its own dedicated system with a water filtration unit built in. So we can use this for filling up water bottles and that kind of thing. It works really well. And then here's our sink. You can turn that on. It's also got a sprayer on it. And so, again, that's worked out really well for us. So, and I'll show you the underbelly here. We do have, you can see our gray water tank down there. 7-gallon gray water tank, you know, held in place by some securements on the floor there. And then I'll just show you, oops, my headphone fell out. Get that back in here. All right, back in action. So that is the water filtration system that we use. It is just a Filtrete cartridge. You can find those at Home Depot. So if you ever find yourself in a situation when you're on the road and you need a new cartridge, just stop by Home Depot. Real easy to get, which is nice. I guess when we were choosing a lot of these parts, we really tried to use stuff that, you know, we could find at Home Depot. And the reason we did that is because there's so many Home Depots, at least in, you know, the continental US and Canada and Mexico, that it'd be easy to find, you know, repair parts if needed while we were on the road. So that's the sink. We do have our 2-burner propane range here. This thing is a beast. It's awesome. You know, we use it for all our cooking, you know, heating up our water for our coffee, you know, all kind of stuff. So it's been good to us. Underneath that is our 12-volt. It's a Dometic 110-liter fridge. Kind of open this up. It's got that stainless steel facade on it, so I think that's pretty cool. 110 liters, so it's a lot bigger than your standard camping fridge. Something that's really nice about it does have a freezer compartment up here, so you put ice cream and, you know, ice and all that good stuff up there. You know, some of the more luxurious items that are tough to find sometimes when you're camping. Moving over here, this cabinet is the electrical system. So this is the heart and brains of the operation here. Down here, so this is a 170 amp hour lithium ion battery. You know, we've never had an issue with it. Things worked like a champ. When you compare that to the AGMs, which is your other option in terms of battery choices when building an RV, is that the lithium ions you can discharge all the way down to 0%. So when you say it has 170 amp hours of capacity, it actually has 170 amp hours. You can discharge it all the way down to 0. You don't have to worry about doing any damage to the battery. We've never discharged this thing past 80%, and the lights, the fan, the fridge, and this thing are all on at all times. So the system is really efficient. Whereas with an AGM battery, you can only discharge down to 50%. So if you had a 200 amp hour HEM battery, you can only discharge down to 50% before you start to damage the battery. So it may be a 200 amp hour battery, but its usable capacity is only 100 amp hours, which is kind of lame. So that's ultimately why we chose to go with 170 amp hour lithium ion battery, and it's done us very well. This yellow thing down here is the Samlex 30 amp shore power connector. It is wired up to our system here, so if you're ever around an outlet and you need some extra juice, you can go ahead and plug that in and, you know, run your whole system forever if you want, never have to worry about running low on power. We do have a 1,000 watt inverter here. Yeah, we've got our circuits. Well, it's not circuits. We've got our fuses right here. Very easy to get to if you ever run into a situation where you need to replace a fuse. So your disconnect right here, bus bars. We'll zoom in. So this is our solar controller. It's a Victron Energy Smart Solar MPPT controller. This thing works real well. So we have 300 watts of solar on the roof. It's 300 watt panels. They are wired in parallel. And what's important about wiring them in parallel versus series is if you wire the solar panels in series, you get the full 300 watts of usage, but if one of them gets too dirty or it's in the shade, you end up losing all three. You end up losing the charge from all three panels. It's kind of like Christmas lights. If you break one of them, they all go out. So I chose to wire them in parallel versus series because if one of the panels is shaded, you know, or it gets dirty, you still get the juice from the other two panels. You know, they don't all completely shut down on you, which is really nice. With the 300 watts of solar powered or wired in parallel, you know, we get a very steady flow. You know, I can check it right now to show you, but we've never had an issue running low on electricity. Victron actually has an app for your smartphone, Apple or Android, so you can hook it up, sync it to the smart controller here. And what's really cool about it is it gives you a direct readout on your incoming solar power versus what's being used. So you kind of see that difference on whether you're positive or negative, and it gives you an exact estimate on how much time you have left while using it. So the other thing in here is a DC to DC battery charger. So what this is you've probably heard of a battery isolator before, but this is connected to the van itself, the vehicle itself. And what's so cool about this is it's connected to the van's alternator as well as the van's battery. So it's able to, whenever the vehicle starts up, it takes in a reading from the van battery, which is this one here, or sorry, the auxiliary battery and the van battery, and it determines which one needs more juice. And what it does is it's able to take the incoming charge from the alternator and direct it to whichever battery needs more juice. So yeah, basically you can use your car to charge your auxiliary battery back here, which is great. You know, it gives you the peace of mind of being able to go, you know, pretty far out in the woods and not have to worry about a dead battery, because you're always going to have this 170 amp hour battery to charge up your van battery. I thought that was really nice. It gave me some comfort, and I like that. So as far as our AC power coming from the inverter, we just got a power strip up here for being able to plug stuff in. You know, my wife and I actually found that we never really used the AC power when we were here. You know, occasionally we'd use it to charge up our laptops, but pretty much everything was DC. I'll close that up and then show you this right here. So this is the remote control for our MaxxAir fan. I'll just kind of give you an idea right now. So I'll zoom in here. What's pretty cool about this thing is you can see it's pretty warm out here in Salt Lake right now. It's about 105 outside, but you know, you can actually set a temperature on this thing, and it'll run. The fan will run until you hit your desired temperature inside. It works really well, produces a strong draft, and I'll show you a picture of the fan itself. So this is the MaxxAir fan. I can't remember the exact model on this one, but you know, since it's a MaxxAir fan, it has the cover on top, so even if it's raining outside, you can continue to run it. You're not going to have to worry about rain getting inside, which is nice. Let's see what else here. So while I'm here, the lights. The lights are LEDs. It's a soft white, so not super bright. The first set of lights we got were the standard LEDs that were very bright. So we swapped them out for the softer ones, and they work really well. We have two zones in here. So zone 1 is for the bedroom. And you can actually use these to dim them. And I'll show you. It's not going to be super dramatic because it's daylight outside, but it is nice to have the different zoning areas between the bedrooms, or the bedroom and the kitchen area. Coming up here, I did want to show you this. So that's that for your Webasto heater down there, and then this is your Victron battery monitor. So you can see right now, still got some solar coming in, even with it being later in the day. So it works really well for us. So onto more like the living side of the van. We do have a Lagoon table mount here. It does swivel all over the place for us. We have a mount there, and then we've got a mount right here. And we can use that. We're sitting down using our laptops, knocking out some work. It also swivels over here and doubles as some extra counter space if we need it while we're cooking, just areas to store stuff, that kind of thing. This thing's been great. It's actually a fairly recent addition to the van, so it was one of those that we decided to get it because we really needed it, which I guess we did with everything, but I don't know. So let's go here. So this compartment right here, these open up. Well, they are gas assisted, which is really nice, so they stay open. This is our Nature's Head composting toilet. Nature's Head toilet is awesome. It separates your liquids and your solids, and it basically is able to turn the solids into compost, which is nice because you really don't have to empty it very often at all. And you can see there is a vent tube over here that goes through the floor of the van, so it always is pulling air over top, and we have never had an issue with any smell. Moving over to this side, I'll get the table out of the way here. Now go ahead and lift this up. This is just general storage. You can see down here we've got a few different compartments for where things go. That is the jack stand down there. It was located underneath passage. Excuse me. I ended up moving it back here just because it's easier access. This right here is the switch for the water pump. Kicking it on and off. It's really cool. We pretty much just leave it on at all times. It's able to sense the amount of pressure that we have in the system, and if pressure ever runs low, like when you're running the faucet, it will kick back on. And there it goes. It's real quiet, but it'll just bring pressure back up until you need it. This is an omnidirectional fan. This thing's great. Made by Sirocco. It's a 360-degree fan. So you can fold it off the wall and angle it down right there while you're in bed. And you can also swing it out, kind of bring it around here to blow it on you while in the kitchen. This thing is great just for keeping the air moving in the van. It really helps this guy right here. It's putting air where you want it. So, gonna give you a better angle from the back here. We do have a transition on the floor right here. You can kind of see it right there. The sheets were awkward, so we had to cover it up, and we were able to put that down and seal it to make sure no water gets through there. In the bed area itself, the bed platform is framed out of 2x4s. It's extremely sturdy. I'll show you what that looks like from the back. The mattress itself is a 6-inch memory foam, very strong. Well, not strong, very comfortable. So in the bed, we've got these 12-volt outlets here for charging phones, Kindles, pretty much everything you need, at least in the bed. This was actually an old wine glass rack that we had that we put back here. And we use that for putting water bottles in, our phones, books, that kind of stuff. Anything that you might need by the bed. Under the wall panels here, we chose not to put them all the way down just to try to give us a little bit of extra space in the bed. We do sleep sideways in the bed, not lengthwise. I am 6 foot right on the dot, and I am able to sleep sideways in here comfortably. Anything over 6 foot might be a little tight. You'd probably have to sleep diagonally, but it works really well for us. All right, I'll take it to the back. Go through the garage. All right, so we're opening this up here. So this is the garage. You can see we got our window covers on here. Now these window covers are magnetic. They just snap right into place. Inside the window cover, you can see they're pretty thick. They are a big piece of 3M Thinsulate insulation. And we've got the magnets in there. So it does a really good job of maintaining the heat in the back of the van, which is important because this is where we sleep. I want to stay warm at night. So we do have the foot holders here. Well, not foot holders, they're shoe holders. Mounted on the doors, they do a great job of, storing all kind of stuff. As far as the garage itself, so the bed is high enough. We have these fork mounts right here. We can fit 2 bikes right here. Pop the front wheels off, set them in. I like having the bikes inside. You never have to worry about anybody coming up and messing with them on the back of your bike rack. So this guy right here is a 30-gallon freshwater tank. Let's see. So I'll run through the tank itself. 30 gallons, NSF approved. So, I think it does a great job. We've never, the water's, I've been confident in the quality of the water. I've never worried about it collecting anything while it's in there. We've had a very good experience with it overall. This is just a little vent line right here. It just shoots and terminates right there. This just allows air in and out of the tank whenever you're filling it up or pulling out of it. So you don't ever run into a situation where you got a vacuum going on. This right here is just a little quick connect. We've got the spigot and the hose is back in there. You just pull that out and hook it up, and we use it to wash off the dogs before they get in the van, wash off our shoes, any of our gear, that kind of thing. It's coming really handy. Down here, so these are MaxTrax traction recovery devices. It is a 2-wheel drive van, so I wanted to get these to give me a little bit more peace of mind when it comes to being on the road. In case we ever get stuck, all you do is you pop these under your back tires, and you can see they have some large knobs on here, so they do a great job of being able to get you out of the whatever situation you might have gotten yourself into. To be honest, this van, we've done some, we've spent a lot of time in the snow. The tires work great. We've never, even with some of the forest roads we've been on, and more what I would call an off-road situation, this van is handled extremely well. We haven't had any issues with it. So kind of coming down here, this is feeding your water pump down there. So I put this in just a little valve with a plug in there, so you can hook this guy up if you want to drain your tank down if you ever find yourself in a situation where you're not using it. This area right down here actually extends into the storage area, and what I built this for was for the winter. We actually use this to put our skis in. So we can slide our skis and our poles in here. And since it's kind of barricaded off, I don't have to worry about anything pushing out to the side or getting in the way of the skis. It keeps that runway open for us, which is really nice. In the summer, we use it for fishing poles, hiking poles, that kind of thing. Really a great spot for being able to put those types of items. Down here is the water pump. I'll kind of get close to that. So we do have a strainer right there with the water pump. Let's see if I can get a better angle. It is kept away from everything, just so nothing bumps it accidentally. Does a great job. This hose right here, rocket hose, we use this whenever we are on the road and we need more water. We'll hook that up to like a spigot on the side of a gas station, run it out to the tank right here and fill up the tank. It works really well for us. So panning over to the left here, as you can see, we got quite a bit of space. With the bikes in here, we'd actually put our inflatable paddle board, just stack them up right here. So we're able to get a ton of gear back here, which is just awesome. We got to a point where we were just carrying practically everything around with us at all times, so that whenever we ran into a situation where we wanted to go paddle boarding or wanted to go riding, we were able to do it. We never found ourselves lacking equipment, which was awesome. So that is the propane tank for the range right there. As you can see, you can easily reach down and turn it on and off. It also sits right underneath that gas detector, which is really nice and gives you a little peace of mind. Silver thing right there is an extendable ladder. So We use that to get up on top of the roof if we need to clean the solar panels or just enjoy the sunset, all kind of things. And then I've got various D-hooks and along the framing down here to be able to secure or hold down items. Kind of give you an idea of the bed framing. So it's all done out of 2x4s, very sturdy. You know, I weigh 250 pounds, and you know, I've never felt any deflection in the bed, which is really nice. I don't have to worry about it ever caving. It feels very solid. So as far as I know, that's about it. If you have any other questions, you know, feel free to let us know. But yeah, happy to do it. Cheers, guys. Bye-bye.